Happy New Year, everybody. Brian Inskip here with Surf Homes NC, back again for the first time this year in 2026 to fill you in on what's going up, what's going down, and where things are at in the Oak Island real estate market. So I do these market updates every single month. So if you want to keep track of what's happening as we progress through this year in the Oak Island real estate market, be sure to take a second right now, hit that subscribe button so that you get notified when the next update comes out next month, as well as all the other cool videos that we have planned to release throughout this year as we put those out to explore and share all things North Carolina real estate and lifestyle. Now, with this being the first market update of the new year, this is going to look a little different than the ones I do each month throughout the year, because we're going to really take a look back and get a summary on the year, but also predict where things are likely to go in the market for this current year, 2026. So be sure to watch to the end of this video to not only get the latest on the Oak Island market update and real estate, but also as a bonus at the end, I'm going to share my top 3 property picks of homes that are for sale right now on the island. So if you've got that beach house in mind and on your goal list for 2026, I've got some great options to talk about. Today, we're at 105 East Beach, appropriately named Clear Skies. So this is a vacation rental property that one of my clients closed on towards the end of last year, and I was grateful to be a part of. Overall, I ended the year with over $21 million in sales. And this property was one that I was lucky enough to be a part of and help them secure this as a short-term rental property. But I want to take a second to talk to you about it because we're sitting here, 68-degree day in January. We've got an elevated pool on this property, 7 bedrooms inside, 5 bathrooms. So if you're looking to book a trip this year, I can't think of a better spot or better property. We got an EV charger downstairs, all the bells and whistles. It's 3 different levels of deck. That top deck view is absolutely amazing. You can see both ends of the island. You see Bald Head Island. So if you're looking to book that next level vacation where you're just guaranteed to have a good time and be able to sit back, relax, enjoy the pool, enjoy the beach and everything Oak Island has to offer, check out that link in the comments and go ahead and get your reservation because this thing's booking out for the peak season right now. But now it's time to get back to business and get this year rolling. So this is your January 2026 Oak Island real estate market update. All right, it's a new year, but we're always going to start these market updates in the same place. So first thing we want to know, looking back at 2025, is where did we end up? How did we do with sales prices on the island? So year over year, we're up 10.3% on the average sales price on Oak Island, with a 0.53% increase to end the year month over month. So our average sales price ended the year at $761,780. We started the year at $687,414. So pretty healthy gain in the increase in average sales price. I've got some other stats as we start to piece these together that are going to help us understand that, because the question is, did home values really appreciate 10% over this last year? The answer to that, we're going to look at some of these other stats to really get a full understanding. So the next thing we always look at to start to do that is our price per square foot. So year over year, the price per square foot increased 2.5% year over year, with absolutely no change this last month of the year. Our average right now is sitting at $453 a square foot. We started the year at $440 a square foot. So again, pretty good gain in the price per square foot. But that 2.5% increase goes more along the lines of what we would expect to see in an average appreciation rate in the market. Our list to sell price ratio dropped just 0.8% year over year. So that is the final asking price of a property versus the price that it actually closes at. And we also had just a 0.1% increase month over month. So slight tick upward to end the year. We ended the year at an average of 96.6 for final asking price to final sales price. We started the year at 97.3, so sellers, started negotiating a little more as we went throughout the year, and you peeled out almost a percentage in list to sell price ratio. Now, a couple points of interest for 2025 to help us really understand this. First thing that I noticed that I thought was really interesting is we had over $37 million in price reductions, and that's just based on properties that actually sold and closed. So the original price of all the sold and closed properties for 2025 to the final asking price, there was over $37 million in price reductions from that initial price to the price that it was at when it went under contract and then closed. So that's an average of $67,448 per closed property in price reductions. So that's a very interesting stat. If you start to look at, when a property comes on the market, is it likely to sell for that? Are they likely to have some negotiating? And remember that list to sell price ratio is based off the final asking price, not the price that it initially comes on the market. So there was quite a bit of negotiating that happened. In total, we had $16,440,000 negotiated from the final asking price of a property to the final sales price of a property. So good amount of negotiating going on out there, but yet our sales price average still increased. Our price per square foot, sales price average still increased. So overall, we saw gains. But one thing to look at is our average square foot of properties sold. So that actually saw an increase of 59, you could call it 60 square feet as an average. So this year, our average size of home was 1,657 square feet. In 2025, it was just under 1,600 at 1,599 square feet. So that's a difference of 59 square feet. And when you apply that average price per square foot of $453, that equates to $26,727. So when we're looking at the gains going from $687,000 as an average sales price to this year $761,000, that's roughly a $70,000 gain. If we peeled the difference in size and factored in that price per square foot, then you're taking out about $26,000 of that, but you're still seeing about a $50,000 year over year increase. So I thought those were interesting stats to kind of give us perspective on the market, because what a lot of people see is they see that $37 million in price reduction hitting Zillow, hitting their property feeds every month, and they think that the market is declining or that values are dropping. But all these stats are telling us that we still saw gains in property values here on Oak Island in 2025. Next category we look at is inventory. Homes for sale on Oak Island saw a 73.7% increase year over year, with just a 0.3% decrease to end the year month over month. New listings were up 113.3% year over year, with a 1.25% decrease right at the end of the year. Our month supply, we definitely reduced supply, so we dropped 16.9% on months of supply year over year, with a 7.7% drop in just the final month. So we started the year at 13.9 months worth of inventory, which is how long it would take at the current rate of sale to sell all the homes that are for sale on the island. And then we ended the year at 10.8 months worth of inventory. So we carved off roughly 3 months worth of inventory in 2025 to start off 2026. All right, next up, we look at the activity, or what I like to call the energy in the market. So this is where we got to the finish line. Closed sales is up 23.8% for 2025 year over year, with a 3.5% decrease at the end of the year. So the closed sales slowed down a little bit. That's not uncommon in the winter months, but that's still a healthy gain in selling more properties this past year, versus the prior year, which was, at a point in time where we really did see a drop in activity in the market. So that started to come back for sure in 2025. Pending sales was up identical 23.8% year over year. That makes sense. You got to be a pending sale to become a closed sale. Pending sales, however, took a 33.3% jump month over month. So we saw a big increase in the number of pending sales. So a lot of properties going under contract to end the year. So that's going to boost our January closed sales numbers. That should be quite a bit above where we were at to start the year in 2025. So we're going to have a pretty healthy start to 2026, and you'll find that out on my next market update. So last stat we look at is days on market. So we saw a 14.7% increase year over year with a gain of just 4 days average marketing time month over month. So our average started the year at 77 days on market. We're ending the year at 86 days on market. So it's definitely taking a little longer to sell a home, but you're still under that 100-day mark or under that 3-month mark, which historically is still very reasonable marketing period, especially when you consider that a lot of these are vacation homes, second homes, and people that are buying these properties don't just live up the block. You're having to travel in from other locations to check them out. Overall, we saw some really healthy gains. We saw a lot of movement in the market this year. There's still quite a bit of inventory out there, but it definitely paints the picture that if you're wanting to sell your property, you got to have it priced right. You're still going to get very great value for your property, historically speaking. But with those price reductions that I referenced earlier, we saw that there was a lot of properties kind of overshooting the market. But if you get dialed in, you can still expect that property to sell relatively quickly, well under the average days on market. If you're thinking of selling a property this year, definitely give me a call. I can run the market data specific to your property and take all these stats we're talking about, layer it on top of your specific property, your specific situation to get you a really accurate estimate of what your property would sell for right now in this market. All right, so that does it for the first market update of 2026. But now, as a bonus, I'm going to share my top 3 property picks. These are properties that are for sale right now on the island. These are definitely 3 properties that you may want to consider or take a look at. And to do this, I'm going on my website. So it's surfhomesnorthcarolina.com. That's my own website. So you can search freely on there. It's dedicated to helping you find the perfect coastal property, whether it's investment, vacation use, personal use. All these properties are on there. So you can set up your search. You can save your search, get automatic alerts coming to you, research all the properties. There's tons of great information on there, but you're also not going to get hounded because I'm the one behind the website. First up on my top property picks, I've got 1104 Elizabeth Drive. So this property is listed at $599,000. It's overlooking the marsh and intercoastal waterway. So it's really tough to get this type of waterway views and marsh views under 600,000. You could almost say unheard of looking back at this past year. You've got a dock on the marsh so you can get out there, fish, probably drop a kayak in if you want to. It's got a little bit of a drop in there, but you could probably find a way to make that happen. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,647 square feet. Needs a little TLC, but it's well below that average price per square foot that we talked about in the market update. So you've got plenty of upside potential on this property. It's a great location. Still got a great direct shot down to the beach. So I love a lot of things about this location, and I think that's a great price on that type of property. All right, next up is a new construction property that's going to be completed just in time for spring so you can get moved in. Everything's going to be brand new. This is a gorgeous property built by Seacoast Homes at 120 Northeast 17th Street. It's listed at $1,185,000. This property sits on a lot and a half. It's got a 2-car garage, in-ground pool, huge screened-in porch, wide open living spaces. So the living room, the kitchen, the dining room is all wide open. You've got the luxury finishes that Seacoast Homes is well known for here on the island. All throughout the property, it's got a huge master suite. You've got a huge front porch that's covered. This is the first time they've built this floor plan, and this property is nearing completion. We've got kitchen cabinets in, countertops are in, flooring's going in, paint's done, and we're gonna have final photos for you. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you'll get the video when we get this property completely done. But also on that lines, if you're thinking of building this year and looking at doing a custom build, go ahead and give me a call. I can get you in touch with Seacoast Homes. We've got a number of spec homes coming up as well. So go ahead and give me a call, shoot me a text if new construction is on your mind, and we'll get you set up. All right, last but certainly not least, if you're looking for a property more like the one we're at today, if you want oceanfront, you want the elevated pool with the infinity ocean views, and you want to maximize rental income potential, definitely need to take a look at 4005 East Beach. It's listed just under 2.7 million. It's a 7-bedroom, 6-bath property. 2,550 square feet, doing close to 200,000 in rental income this past year. That is the only property like that on the market right now that offers that level of income potential, those kind of amenities in the property itself. And it's also a newer property. So that's a great one if you're looking, how can I max out my rental income and really just max out the ways that I can enjoy where we're at here on Oak Island. So I absolutely love the new year, especially when it's 68 degrees on the beach. But I love the new year because it creates that natural point where you can really reflect on the previous year, look back, see how you did, see what worked, see what didn't work, but also to look forward to the coming year. It's that natural transition where you can really set your intention for the coming year and design the year. And to do that, you've got to have some clear goals set. Otherwise, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I want to take a quick moment. If you've got a goal this year, 2026, doesn't even have to be real estate related, go ahead and drop it in the comments and you'll have at least one person out there rooting for you in 2026. Love to see what your goals are coming into this new year. And that does it for this market update, but I'll be back again with another one next month. I want to thank you again for watching. I'm Brian Inskip with Surf Homes NC, wishing you a happy new year, and I will see you on the next one.